Namaste Vidya, Khush rahiye. I JVN Muskan Kumari from the Department of Science and Technology, and I am working here as an assistant professor in JVWU Women's University and Faculty of Education and Management. Okay, so today I will discuss the new sessions with the new topics which I will and this topic is basically connected with your the previous session in which I have discussed about the map reduce. Now in this session I will discuss about the map reducing architecture. Isn't it clear? So to make you in easy way to understanding to you the architecture of map reduce, so for this I am just sharing the some files through which you can easily understand. So here this one is the files map reduce architecture. Okay, so what this figure which is in below illustrates the various parameters and the modules that can be configured during the map reduce operations, isn't it? Here you can see that there is one thing which is provided by the users and the so this is actually here showing that what one thing is basically provided by the users and the second one is the provided by the Hadoop framework. Okay, so here you can see that the job configurations here input format, input locations, map function, number of reduce task, reduce function, output key types, output value types, output format, output locations. These all are here as the so which is the data provided by the users, and here is the data which is basically provided by the Hadoop framework. What input format and input locations is stored here. The input is splitting and distributions. Next one map reduce is just going to the start of individual map task. Now number of reduced tasks is as it is, and the reduced function and output format and output location is comes to the correction of the final output, and this one is a start of individual reduced tasks. So you can see here the input splitting and distribution comes towards the start of individual map task, and shuffle the and partition and sort per map output. Then this output goes to the merge sort or map outputs for each reducing task, and then the output from this one previous is comes to the start of individual reducing task where reduce function is embedded with this one for reducing the task, and after that collection of final output is done, and here the output done, that is basic takes the format of the output format and output locations also. So this is the basic architecture of your map reducing, and here we will also discuss about the job configurations is the framework. Job conf is the framework used to provide the various parameter of a map reduced job to the Hadoop for the executions. The Hadoop platform executes the program based on configuration set using the the parameter being map functions, reduce function, combiner, partitioning function, input and output format also. Isn't it? Partitioners basically what do? What is the role of the partitioner? Partitioner basically controls the shuffling of the tuples when being sent from the mapper node to the reducer node, isn't it? The total number of partition done in the tuples is equal to the total number of reduced node. Total number of reduced node. In simple terms, if you talk about the function, so the function output the tuples are transmitted through the different reduced node. So input format also describes the format of the input data for the MapReduce job, input location specifies the location of the the data files, and map functions, or you can also say that the map functions or mapper also defines you the converting of the data into the key value pair. Converting of data in key value pair, whatever the key value you are generating. For example, let's consider this with an example. Daily temperature or data of 100 city for the past 10 years. Okay, so this the map function is written in such a way that every temperature being mapped to the corresponding city. Reduce function is basically reduce the set of the tuples and which share a key to a single tuple with change in the value, isn't it? So in this example, if we have to find the highest temperature record in the city, the reducer function is written in such a way that it returns the tuple with highest value, that is the highest temperature in the city in sample data. Now, if we talk about the number of the uh, map and reduce nodes also can be defined. So you can set the partitioner function which partitions and transfers the tuples, which by default is based on the hash function also. And in another word, you can also say that the options such as a specific set of key value pairs are transferred to the specific reduce task. And for example, if your key value consists of the year and it was recorded, then we can set the parameters such as the key of a specific year transferred to the same reduce task, isn't it? The Hadoop framework consists of a single master and many slaves also. Each master job tracker and each slave has the task tracker. This is already I have discussed this two terminology in the previous sessions, isn't it? When I have discussed to you the HDFS. Okay, so master distribution work performed. Master distribute the program and data to the slaves, and task tracker, as the name suggests, keep track the task directed to it and relay the informations to the job tracker. The job tracker basically monitors all the status reports and reinitiate the failed task if any. If any task is failed, then they are going to reinitiate that one. Combiner classes are run on the map task node, and it takes the tuple emitted by the map node and input node. Isn't it? It basically does reduce operations on the tuples emitted by the map node, and it is like a pre-reduced task which is save the loss of the bandwidth. We can also pass the globe constraints to all the nodes, isn't it? And they can be used to track the all events in map and reduce the task. For example, we can pass a also calculate and statics of an event beyond a certain threshold value, whatever the value is given. So if you talk more about this, the architecture of the MapReduce, then we can also say that we can also say like map reduces basically work performs on the like your master and slave sides, isn't it? And they are providing the multiple functions also by which you are going to reduce the number of data sets, isn't it? So if you have any problems in this session, then please let me know your query regarding putting your query into the comment section box, through which I will resolve your query in the next session. And once again, I just want to conclude from top to bottom that what you have learned, isn't it? So basically what I have discussed with you, the map reducing, isn't it? This all the, but you know that how the function is implemented. It might be that there will be some algorithm, and which algorithm contains the functions, and that function is basically used to reducing the data set, isn't it? So the algorithm is used mainly. Is a generally map reduce paradigm is based on the sending of the computer to where the data desire. Yeah, data resides, where the data resides, isn't it? So MapReduce program executes in three stages, namely the map stage, shuffle stage, and the reduce stage. And in map stage, I'm just concluding that all the things which I have discussed. So map stage is what working. The map and mapper's job is to process the input data. Generally, the input data is in the form of the directory format, isn't it, which is stored in the Hadoop file system. This input file is passed to the mapper function and line by line, and mapper process the data and creates the several small chunks of the data in the small pieces of the data, isn't it? So reduce stage is what working. The reduce stage basically combines of the shuffle stage and the reduce stage. So the reducer's job is to process the data and comes from the mapper, which comes from the mapper. After processing, it produces a new set of the outputs which will be stored in the HDFS. During the map reduce job, Hadoop sends the map and reduce task to the appropriate servers in the cluster. Okay. The framework or architecture which is designed to performing these all tasks. So framework manages all the details of the data passing, such as issuing job task, verifying task, completion, and copying data around the cluster between the nodes. Most of the computing takes place on the node with the data on the local disk, and that reduce the network traffic. And if you talk about the completion, so after completion this given task, the cluster collects the cluster will collect all the and reduce the data to form an appropriate result, and also provides you the best results and send it back to the Hadoop server. Clear? So this is basically performing processing of the uh, Hadoop, and map reducing is working here through the map reduce architecture, okay, which I have explained to you. So please read this session with multiple standard books, and also follow the several online websites through which you can easily discuss this all the things. And if you have any problem, then I have already told you that please put your query in the comment section box, okay? So many questions will arises through this. There may be one questions like define the architecture of the Hadoop, isn't it? How MapReduce function is working? What is the working of functions in the map reducing, isn't it? So you have to explain these all things by making a diagrams. Clear? So okay, thank you.